Okay, so it's trying to just drive me insane. Oh, come on! What the... I can't get out. I am thoroughly stuck. I'm very upset because there is a new light that looks really good, but I can't get any light upgrades. If I show you this here, I don't get any light upgrades until we get to the next hull, and then we have this one. Right, so I can't actually get that new light, which is really upsetting. Let me show you it. It looks so good. Look at this. Look at this thing. It's way better than what I got right now. Anyway, it's all good. Anyway, welcome back to Dredge, everybody. And I'm so happy everyone's having a good time with it. And I hope you all enjoyed our little expedition out into the middle of nowhere. I might head us over to where we need to go, and then we might do some more exploration. There is so much creepy stuff that sort of happens. So for me, we need to head out to the Twisted Strand. And there only looks like there's one point of interest out that way. I do also want to complete this for the builder so that the builder can move out here. I'm wondering if we're going to get any bonuses that way. But we are going to head out there. I feel pretty confident heading out. We've got a decent amount of stuff on hand. So we are going to head our way out of Great Marrow, and we're going to continue on. So if you did miss the last episode, what I'm talking about when I mentioned the Great Expedition to... Where am I going? I'm going... Okay. We're going back in. Never mind. This gives me an opportunity to tell you what happened last time, because I just hurt my boat. So we went down to the Stellar Basin, which if I show you here... So, the Stellar Basin, just down here, there's a giant octopus thing in the center. A lot of weird stuff happened, but I also just picked a direction and went out to the outside of the map. You can actually go past this boundary. I don't recommend it. Bad things really do happen. So now we're headed to the Twisted Strand, because what we found last time was a ring. The gentleman gave us this ability. So when we took it back to him, he gave us the Banish, which kind of lets us have protection against certain things. Kinda. I don't really understand how it works, but that is what it is. Where am I? Oh, this isn't... Twisted Strand is a while away. Okay, hang on, wait, what's this? Is this a boat? Someone's fishing? Is this a person? You pull up alongside a boat at anchor. There are signs of life on board, but nobody appears to greet you. Call out. Almost immediately, a small slot in the door snaps open. A pair of frantic eyes peer out at you. Who goes there? This dude seems... Look at the words jittering. I'm trying to... A monster. I'm a fisherman. What do you want? I was just checking to see if you're okay. Do I seem okay? No, I'm very much not okay. I'm supposed to be delivering this package to Little Marrow, but I'm being stalked. A huge leviathan lurks in these deep waters. I've seen it. It hung in the water, its gaping mouth just below the boat. I think I may have experienced what you're talking about in a dream. It would have swallowed this vessel whole if I hadn't bolted for the shallows. I'm not going any further into this accursed island chain. I could deliver the package to Little Marrow for you. You would? Well, that would work, yes. That would work, I guess. Addressed to the dock worker at Little Marrow. It's dense, damp, and very sticky. Okay, well, we're going to take this back. The courier pushes a lumpy brown package through the door hole. It squelches slightly as you take it in your hands. Dark fluid oozes from one corner. Thank you, stranger. This is bound for the dock worker at Little Marrow. I'm not sure what's inside, but listen, I know this sounds crazy. Sometimes I can hear the faintest of whispers coming from it. Now, I'm not supposed to be transporting live goods. Don't have the equipment for it, so just be careful with this thing, whatever it is. I'll be on my way whenever the coast is clear. Safe travels. Well, all right. I'm going to go take this back immediately. Okay, let's just go take this back immediately. The last time we took too long, we got penalized because it went bad. But do you see what I mean? Like, packages are going to Little Marrow, and it's definitely to do with all the creepy stuff. But they won't tell us what it is. Dock worker. How's the day treating you? I've got a package here for you. A delivery, eh? Oh, it's a big one. Let me see. He takes the large package and examines it gently with his hands. He lifts it to one ear and listens for a while. He seems satisfied. Much appreciated, friend. Now, if you'll excuse me, wish me luck. He turns and hurries off down the dock without another word to you or compensation. Fuck you, dude. I should have asked you questions. Alright, well, we're going to sleep. And then I'm going to go deal with the builder. Actually, while we move, I have discovered Possibly the greatest thing ever, and what I think I'm going to do, unless I find another story that I really want to talk about, I have found an Ocean Mysteries... No noises, okay. An Ocean Mysteries Iceberg, which I think is brilliant. And so that's what I'm going to be doing in between when we're kind of doing some things in between, how I normally tell stories. I'm going to basically, and what I have done in this one, is research some of the things so we can talk about it a little bit. I'm going to provide the link to the iceberg below, just so it's properly credited to whoever it was. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I will have a look and put that on screen. I think I found it on Reddit. I'm just going to credit it to the original poster. But I want to make sure everything's properly credited because I love icebergs. I think they're so cool. They can send you down some of the craziest research paths. And we're going to go through it together. That's what we're going to be doing. Oh, do I not have access to my storage here? I'm not too concerned. We recently upgraded the boat, so I do want to just kind of do this straight away. It's something that we've kind of got going on, and I'm not sure what that progresses, so I do want to help people out. Because I haven't looked into it, but I think Dredge has multiple endings. I don't know how you get certain ones. I haven't looked into it that far, but I think there's multiple endings. We're just going to basically, you know, work our way through and get whatever ending we get. I'm certain there's like a Cthulhu type ending where like we basically help a giant entity emerge here. And I'm pretty sure that's either these people are worshipping it or they're aware of it. There's something weird going on. And I am determined to get to the bottom of it. All right, where's the builder? You've done it. Well, no sense in wasting time. Let's get moving. Okay, I'm going to just pick her up and throw her on board. Good riddance to you, Great Marrow. I'm onward bound. Yes, this'll do. Thank you, fella. Give me a short while to get things built here. You're welcome back anytime. She reaches into a toolbox and pulls out a handful of components. Take these. Always good to have on hand. Oh, yes. I'm only safe doing this because... Oh, what the fuck? Entwined mullet. Twisting, twitching tendrils sprout from the gill plates of this little fish. They heave in unison, moving the fish against its will. Well, isn't that lovely? Okay, we are going to go sleep, and then we're going to start investigating. I mean, this is the first time I don't think we've got any story parts for what's out here. Is that a propeller? Is that what that is? Okay, hang on, we're going to go investigate. So there's only a few entry points, and then we kind of got to make our way through. Oh, I don't like the music here. What is that? Is that a snake? What is this? Hey friend. If I go under here, I'm gonna get hit, aren't I? I really thought something was gonna happen. What is going on here? Yep, okay, we need a mangrove. We need a mangrove rod. Which I think I can buy. I think. Okay, let's just pull in here. I'm kind of gearing myself up. I really don't like it. I've already seen weird shit, so, you know. Okay, now we're covering everything. Mangrove, coastal, shallow, and yes, so now we've covered everything. Alright, cool. Let's sleep, and then we'll get going. What can you tell me about the Twisted Strand? Let's actually find out about it. Not much, to be honest. I've gone inside just the once. I sailed into the lagoon behind us and saw I could go left, right, or straight ahead. Something about the place seemed off. Through the fog, it looked like the trees were moving. I can't explain it. I turned around and sailed right back out. I sometimes use this spot to rest up for a few days. The sunrises are particularly striking through the haze. Never do any regular business here, of course. You ever see strange things out at sea? Strange things? Plenty, but I try not to dwell on them. You could go crazy, you know? But hey, if you're seeing strange things, maybe you're not seeing them the right way. Maybe they're not so strange after all. Or perhaps they are, and they're incredibly dangerous. Better not risk it. That didn't help, but I always like talking to you. Alright, let's go to sleep. Alright, let's try this again. And while we're moving, I'm going to try and get through some of the first level of the iceberg. Alright, so first and foremost, first thing on the list is we haven't explored 80%. I didn't like that. 80% of the ocean. know how I feel about any of this. Uh-oh. Okay, so I can bump into these and I'm not really worry. What the fuck? Okay, maybe I shouldn't have tried to tell a story in here. Okay, so it's trying to just drive me insane. Oh, come on! What the fuck? I can't get out. I am thoroughly stuck. Help? What in the hell? Okay, come here. Come here, beastie. I'm gonna try this. What the fuck? Hull damage. Okay, let me leave. How much damage did that do? Oh my god. Yep, so the trees definitely move. Why did I try to talk? I thought I could tell stories, and here I am just getting absolutely wailed on. Do I need explosives? It could be cleared to make a shortcut. Use explosives. You don't have packed explosives. Oh, we gotta go back. Okay. That's kind of blocking me from this path. Maybe there's a way around. We're gonna just go exploring. So that one we talked about before, like, we have not explored shit when it comes to the ocean, and I think it's just always a really scary thing to think about, you know? There's so many noises in here, I hate it. That's just always a scary thing to think about. This thing that makes up the majority of our world we just haven't even looked into. There's no way through there. Okay, this should lead us back over where we came in from, I think. So that one I just thought was worth mentioning again, and for the sake of completion, we're just going to mention it again, and I think it's very, very cool. The next thing, of course, is the mystery of Atlantis, which isn't scary for sort of obvious reasons. What is this? Why is there a dock here? So we can pull in here, which is nice. The campsite. You see a campsite, some old fish are suspended on a spit over a fire that was never lit. A pile of fabric is gathered at the base of a large tree nearby. Okay, we'll circle back to Atlantis. I'm pretty sure we all know it anyway. I'm only going to briefly mention it. Inspect the fish on the spit. Rotten fish hang from the spit. The fire below had been prepared. Someone must have left in a hurry. What do you want to do? Check out the bundle of fabric. A nest of rags lies at the base of a tree. Somebody slept here. The rags are covered in bark chips. There are symbols carved into the tree trunk above. There are 3 distinct sets of symbols. Look at the first set. There's a book symbol underneath a wave and then an upwards arrow. A cloud hangs over it. I'm betting the book is the book the dude is reading out of that's given us weird powers. There are 3 distinct sets of symbols. Look at the second set. 5 unfamiliar symbols mark the corners of a pentagram. The shape of a person is lying down in the center. That's not creepy. Third set. A book symbol sits above a wave. A downwards arrow points from the book down through the wave. Okay. Leave? Oh, I was going to sleep here, but I don't think I want to. Okay, and then we can kind of scoot our way back around the outside. Oof. Anyway, Atlantis. Most of you should be familiar with Atlantis, but if you're not, I believe it was around the Greek Empire. I think that's where Atlantis is from. And essentially it was said to be a very prosperous city. And essentially it was highly advanced, so supposedly far more advanced than most places at the time. And they had incredible technology, and for unknown reasons, it supposedly just slipped into the ocean. What is this? Dog tags. A name, number, and address is printed in duplicate. Okay, I'm guessing that's going to be important. Let's not just sell that off. And it just, for unknown reasons, sank into the ocean. There have been things to try and discover and find the city of Atlantis. To my knowledge, there's been no successful sort of proof that it existed, but it is referenced, and what makes it plausible, right? What makes it plausible is that it's referenced multiple times from different sources and not all from the same place. So it seems like a place like Atlantis at least existed at some point. But as for where it is now and what happened, it's a bit of a mystery. So that's a little bit on Atlantis. We're not going to spend too much time, and this is what the first tier I feel like is going to be a lot of. We're kind of going to just work our way through it pretty quickly because it's a lot of things most people would know. But let's have a look at our messages. No date for this one. It feels like years since I have been warm. I do not expect him to write. I just need to know that he thinks of me from time to time. The next few lines have been smudged out. He must return. More angry smudging follows. I have written him another letter. This will be the last one. Okay, I feel like we're missing some pieces. So I think from this one here, where they go out together, right? So they've gone out together. It says here, in his eyes, I saw the void, right? So they pulled up something and they looked inside the casket. We don't get to find out what was inside the casket. But I have a feeling that this question mark one happens later, where maybe he's gone out alone because he feels the call of the sea or call of Cthulhu, if you will, and he just hasn't come back. And he's just kind of gone. Okay, we're going to see if there's more than one way to do this. So we can kind of go past and then loop back in, and there might be a way through over this side. There looks like there's another entry point over here. I'm just trying to figure out how I get over there where there's that propeller. That looks like it's maybe... Okay, we're just going to have a quick thing. The sunrise is very beautiful. All right, old reliable. Next on the tier list, we have got the Kraken. So the Kraken is something I'm pretty sure most of us would be familiar with. It's a giant octopus that attacks ships and does all manner of nasty business. Wait. Okay, we're just going to see if we can wait this thing out. Mortar barrel. Mortar barrel? What the hell am I meant to do with that? Oh, okay, yeah, that's the plane. So it was a propeller. Where are we as in the grand scheme of things? We're on the wrong side, from what I can tell. Okay, so we need to head back out. So it would attack ships. It's from... That's a crocodile. How you doing, friend? I'm going to move on. And so basically a giant octopus, squid-like thing that would attack ships and do basically like capsize them. And it was told, it was a story, it was like a horror story spread between sailors throughout the early... Like, it originates from like the... I don't know, like 1600s. Like, it's from a long time ago. Back when we used to have sailboats as the only means of getting around. Now, what's interesting about the Kraken, right, is that back in the day, we probably would have called it absolutely insane and crazy, and someone's gone off the deep end. That's what we would probably think, right? Except, then later, we discovered giant squid, colossal squid, right? Which that could potentially, I mean, if you factor in the size of boats at the time, that could factor in if these things were closer to the surface. I know now they dwell deeper down, but if at one stage they did dwell higher at the surface, well, that could very much match the Kraken, which makes it so interesting that maybe some of these myths, we actually know what they are now, but because of the way they were described and how fantastical it could be at times, maybe that's just been lost a little bit, you know? I just, when I tell you I find this stuff so cool. I find this stuff so cool. Especially things of that nature. Next rods, we should probably look at getting this versatile rod that does pretty much everything. And there is the theory as well, right, that as sort of we as humans have become more active on the surface of the ocean, that creatures that typically would have dwelt closer to the surface have moved further down to kind of avoid all the ruckus and the activity, right? And that's a behavior that has been observed in several different aquatic life, which lends credibility that maybe at one time the Kraken or giant squid or colossal squid or something maybe even bigger that matched that description did dwell closer to the surface. But as we've become a little bit more active, that's no longer really happening. What is going on here? Okay, we've picked another entry point, and we're kind of going through. And that was kind of all the main stuff I wanted to talk about regarding the Kraken. I just think it's very cool, particularly with that one, that it's very possible that we now understand what it is. It's very possible that what was being talked about was, in fact, maybe a giant squid or a colossal squid. Which you can imagine, if you'd never known what those things were, and then all of a sudden this giant tentacled behemoth attaches itself to the side of your ship, you're going to be freaking out a little bit. You're probably going to imagine, or in your mind, something that you never thought was possible is now here, and you're now like, well, there is a giant sea demon that is now attacking me. Okay, so every way is blocked off. We have to go back to Infell from what I can see. Okay, we found another a tattered receipt. Oh, yeah, there's something else I want to look at as well. Okay, we're just going to beeline and get straight out. Actually, if we hang a left, we can get out, pop out a little bit closer. What is with all the planes that have gone down here? It's like World War II planes. Sell all fish. We're going to take a sleep. And I think, unless something interesting happens on the journey across, I think I'm going to speed us up over to Ingfell. I might even just speed us up to when I've come back with the explosives. Unless something really crazy sort of happens. I think that's what I'm going to do, because Ingfell is the other side of the map. So, yeah, I'll catch up with you soon. Oh, hey, I think our builder friend has built a nice little home. We're going to go stop in real quick, and then we're going to read the note, and then I'm going to check something else. So, yes, I've already brought you back. I've only been gone for like 30 seconds. Look, nice little house. Can I come live with you? Not in a weird way. I just don't want to be out here no more. Hey, thanks again for helping me move out here. I've managed to get myself set up now. What a beautiful little home. I found this while I was unpacking. You should take it. The Engineer's Companion. Nice. She hands you a book. The cover is dusty, but in otherwise good condition. If you ever need to use the dock or store stuff here, be my guest. That's it. Do you have anything to say? No worries. Okay, that's it. So there's nothing else for us to do. All right, quickly before I forget, let's read this one. So, tattered receipt. Goldsmith & Son, number 27, Little Marrow. So this is from Little Marrow. Interesting. December 22nd, 1926. Receive the sum of $50.00 in exchange for one silver necklace with emeralds on silver mounting. Additional notes. Received a further $3 for custom engraving on reverse of mounting. Customer to return tomorrow, 23rd of December, for collection. Engraving is to be as follows for J, my shining star. I have no idea what to think about that. I'm going to be completely honest with you. But what I forgot about was when we found that boat that looked like our boat, we found a note which says the following. Deep sky, deep forever. Casket seal broken, fog core. 5 equals rise, he knows. Okay, so casket seal broken, I've got to imagine that is, I don't know what half of this shit means. 5 equals rise. Maybe that's to do with those symbols we just read about, where there was 5 symbols and a person lying in the middle, and 5 equals rise. Maybe that brings somebody back from the dead. I don't know. Deep sky. It showed the book below, and then the book above was in the symbol, the first symbol and the third symbol. So the first symbol, I think it was showing book underneath, pointing above, and then the third symbol was book above, pointing below. So I think we've got some pieces with the note as well. So the casket seal broken, fog core, right? I don't know what the fog core is. Unless that's to do with the fog that goes around that area. So maybe breaking the casket seal, release the fog in wherever we are, the Twisted Strand. He knows. I have no idea what that means. I'm very curious, but I think we've actually got enough to kind of piece some things together. I've got a lot of things I've collected that I just don't know about. I should probably talk to people more. But we are going to head back to Ingfell. Check in on our friends, which Ingfell should just be... yeah, kind of down this way. All right. So I'm going to continue on the journey again, this time for real. If nothing interesting happens, we should be back. Either at Ingfell if there's interesting conversations that take place, or back at the Twisted Strand once we have the explosives. Well, I was literally about to say welcome back. We've made it. We have explosives and we are ready to go. And then the weird noises. Anyway. All right. So, yep, we made it back. We have now got... I bought 4. I don't think that was necessary, but I just wanted to be sure. We can always do some fishing to build up some funds again, but that is fine. We're going to sleep, and then we're going to continue on. And as we make our way to plant the explosives, well, we're going to continue on with our little tier list, our little iceberg, and continue forward. So, oh, I absolutely adore this game. It's so weird having, like, no story at all. I hate that music. That music, I mean, I love it. It's perfect, but also, screw you. Next on the list is Mermaids. I don't don't really feel like I need to talk about mermaids too much. I mean, we all sort of know what they are. The only thing to keep in mind is that they are absolutely not like the Little Mermaid. Use explosives, set charges. Beautiful. They're absolutely not like the Little Mermaid. They're sort of like highly... Oh! Nice. Refined metal. I need that. So they're kind of man-eating, horrifying creatures. And oftentimes they're compared to or referred to as sirens as well. Which also finds its way not only from ocean tales, but into things like the Greeks. Who had their tales of sirens and things like that. In fact, having just played God of War, it's even more obvious that you can see that. Basically just clearing out the way so we have as many options as possible to kind of make our way around. And basically what they're going to do and what they're known for is that they will sing, and it's kind of like it entraps your mind, it ensnares your mind, and you kind of lose your senses a little bit. And they essentially lure you to a very watery grave in the case of the ocean one, or to their claws, because from the Greek side they had the face of a woman but the body of like a bird almost. I'm glad I bought so many explosives because there was a lot of debris in here. Okay, I think we've made our way to where we have to go. Yeah, just up this little trail here. And yeah, that's basically all you really need to know about mermaids. They were not nice, they were not friendly, they were very much here to take you out. Okay. A large man is watching you through the billowing smoke of a campfire, idly carving away at a wooden stake. He stands as you pull ashore. Stranger, from the look on your face, I'd say you've encountered the local wretches. Take a seat. You join him by the fire. I've been trying to rid them from this accursed jungle ever since we wrecked here. The boys called them mind suckers, on account of them, well, affecting the mind. They made us see things, do things. I'd ask you for safe passage away from here, but not until after I've avenged my squadron. What happened to them? A number of us went down in the fog, crashing into trees or ditching into the water. Those that survived rallied here under the boughs of this giant tree. But it offered us scant protection. Before help could arrive, our numbers quickly dwindled, picked off by the fiends in the forest. I've met a few would-be rescuers over the years, but none would help me in my fight. Are you any different to the rest? I can help. I figured you'd be up for it. You have the look. Listen up. First, we need to find the lost pieces of my squadron's mortar. We'll then use that to bombard the beasts. Other planes went down to the north and east of where we are now. I'll mark the possible crash sites on your map. You go and see what you can salvage. How will you honor your squad mates? I've hung a few of their dog tags up on the tree behind me. It seemed fitting enough, but I've only got the tags from the ones You must understand, I never found all their bodies. If you happen to find any of their dog tags, I could add them to the tree with their brothers. I have a number of mechanical doodads that you might find useful. Here, take this one, in good faith. I'll give you more for each tag you bring me. Beautiful. Okay, we actually did find those too. Are there any shipwrecks around here? Tell me about the mind suckers. Devilish creatures, through and through. They'll stalk you along the waterways and emerge suddenly, screeching their terrible song, much like a mermaid. Just very fitting that we happen to be talking about that. The first time it happened to me, I saw shadows of my squad mates reaching out to me in a feverish dream. I just realized he's missing an arm too. When I finally snapped out of it, I was covered in bloodied scratches. They must have sent me running through the foliage. Since then, I've done my best to avoid the fiends. Their senses seem to be based on movement, so move carefully. I found some dog tags. I tried to make my voice deeper. I'm feeling intimidated. I found parts of the mortar. You found one component, but it's still missing a piece. Nearly there. Keep looking. Okay, well that's everything then. Okay, so in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my research and I'm going to get this thing. Beautiful. We got the versatile rod, so I can replace pretty much everything I've got going on and just have this one. And it also covers volcanic, so I don't even need to worry about that. How about you? What's this? Harvesting platform. Whoa, coastal, shallow, oceanic. So realistically, all I would need is probably this. Oh, I don't have oceanic. Oh no, between these two, I would have oceanic and all the deeper ones, and then everything else. Oh wait, no, this is, wait. This one, and this one. I think if I get these two, that'll be everything. I don't really need to worry about this. But these two are the ones I really want to get. So, if I am trying to keep things all square, I need to kind of go out, hang a right, and then I should be able to find it. So they do, it is based on movement, which is what I kind of thought, because when I stayed still, they went away. So we did figure that out, which is good. Alright, well, while we're going, next on the list, by the way, so for the tier list, it was the Megalodon, which we've already talked about ad nauseum. I think I've talked about it twice at this point. So I'm not going to bore you again. Giant shark, I think they're very cool. Some debate on whether they actually existed or not. I believe they did. And I have a Megalodon tooth. That's basically going to catch you up on most of the things that we've talked about. And just, of course, the cool factor that it does substantiate the possibility of larger aquatic life existing that doesn't just, you know, feed on, I don't know, plankton and things like that. All right, I think we found what we're looking for, which is just over here. Dredging. There we go, we got it. All right, now we're going to head our way back. As we kind of make our way back here, just around this way, we have got thalassophobia, which, again, I'm pretty sure most of you are going to be familiar with, but it is a fear of the ocean or large bodies of water. I might have this to some degree, but I don't think it's not just any water, like large bodies of ocean, like looking at the ocean and being near it and being on a beach and kind of being in like the shallow parts of the beach. That doesn't really do it for me. Same with pools and lakes and things like that. But if you're talking deep ocean, i.e. I don't know how far down it is, I can't see the bottom, it's just dark and I have no idea what's going on, yeah, that absolutely terrifies me. So I don't know if that's still classified as thalassophobia, or if there's a different one that deals maybe more with the depths. All right, I found parts of the mortar. That's the lot. Now while I work on assembling the mortar, you can get started on the next phase of the plan. You may have noticed some contraptions in the lagoons around here. I've assembled those traps for the mine suckers. We just need to lure them in there. Once they're in, you see I can fire on them with our new mortar, and that'll be the end of them. No more nightmares. When I tell you I just had the absolute hell scared out of me. Oh my god, it has nothing to do with what you're seeing right now. Where I'm playing, I can see like out of a little window, and I'm just obviously looking at my monitor, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw something moving right out the window, and that window leads out into like our backyard, right? And I was like, no one should be out there right now, and I looked out and it was a bird. A bird had perched itself on the windowsill on the outside, and I just saw it moving out of the corner of my eye, but it made me absolutely shit. Oh my god. Oh, the atmosphere in this game keeps it going, let alone me trying to get through a tier list. Anyway, that'll be the end of them. No more nightmares. I'll mark the locations of the traps on your map. Got it? I'm guessing I have to, you know. They're attracted to some very specific types of bait. Your skills will come in handy here yet again. Have you got everything? I understand. So what's next? We need to make 3 special baits from different combinations of fish. Let's discuss the bait for the first one. This one takes 3 fish from the area to make. Okay, so I don't know what I'm needing here. Okay, well, I guess we'll just go fishing. Let's just get out of here. So does our map actually tell us which one is 1, 2, and etc.? No, I'm guessing maybe 1, 2, 3. Maybe in that sort of order. Okay, we're just going to try doing some fishing to find these fish. Try and see what we can find, and in the meantime avoid the mine suckers. Which makes me think of the mine flayers from, you know, D&D, as always. So the last thing on this tier list is called Old Sea Monsters, which, if any of you have tried going through one of these icebergs before, I definitely have. Sometimes things are so generic that it is pretty difficult to define some things, because the terms are so just... Again, generic is sort of the term that comes to mind. So I don't really know what this one is exactly referring to, but my guess is... I don't really know if we need that, but I'm just going to go check with the old dude. My guess is that it's just referring to any of the old sea monsters, so that could cover things like, you know, the Kraken, and a whole range of other beasties that have just existed in ancient times, so like the Leviathan and things like that. And that's everything in Tier 1, which I know probably isn't the most exciting. There we go. When the trap springs, I'll fire upon it with the mortar. Make sure you bring back proof that the thing's really dead. You hear? Okay, well. 3. I don't really know where I'm supposed to put this. Nah, that's all fine for now. Let's just sleep. You know what? I'm just going to toss these out because they're going to go bad. I'm going to just stay the course for now. So we're going to sleep, and then do I have any indication of which ones are which? No, I don't. So we're going to have to just try and guess, I suppose. Or maybe it's better for me to maybe try and fish up everything that I need. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Okay, so that's you. That's fine. So moving into Tier 2, the first thing we've got is the Great Pacific Garbage Pile, which I believe is a section of ocean between the west coast of North America and Japan. So it's that big thing there. And supposedly, depending on who you speak to, there's technically 2 of these. They're not like, it's not just like one big conglomerate of where all this stuff gathers, which I'll explain in a second. But there's actually an eastern one and a western one that's closer to North America and one that's closer to Japan. Now, essentially what it is that all of the biodegradable or non-biodegradable plastics, they don't break down, as you might have guessed. Instead, they kind of just break down into tinier and tinier pieces. So they don't actually properly disappear. It's not like they break down and then, you know, just dissolve into nothingness. They form what's called microplastic. And so this one, I guess, is just an interesting fact because it's very strange. Large thing, a small receptacle is floating underneath. Load trap with bait. You load the trap. You should probably move away. Oh, yeah. We just ran into it. That's fine. That's fine. Beautiful. And you are now caught, bitch! Ha ha! Oh, this is a very intricate trap. Beautiful. Excellent. You deserve that. Inside the obliterated corpse of a mine sucker, the airmen will be expecting proof of your success. Well, here we go. Chunk of flesh. A pale and bloody slab. Its smell is acrid and metallic. Oh, that's cool. The rest of the carcass sinks out of sight. Well, fuck you, buddy. So, back to the microplastic thing. Yeah, essentially, that's just where the way the ocean currents move. Look, I'm no marine biologist and you know, studier of the seas and that sort of thing for obvious reasons, but essentially the way that the currents form is just all the plastics that end up in the ocean, they end up in this particular patch because of how everything sort of moves and all the currents flow and whatnot. Right? So just imagine giant underwater currents, they move all this stuff together, and essentially as the plastics break, they don't break down, but they turn to microplastics, which are smaller than the eye can see. And so the water there is just dense with this. And like you can't see it, it just makes the water look a bit cloudy. It just kind of is sort of like that. And there is a ton of it there. And it's even theorized that potentially beneath the surface, what's actually going on is that there's actually a whole heap of actual larger debris that's sitting on the ocean floor. So I think with this one, it's just a bit of an interesting thing to know about. I'm going to give you this. Let's see it then. You hand the tattered lump of flesh to the airman. It's almost unrecognizable, but you both know it couldn't have belonged to anything else. He pokes at it with his knife, testing the rubbery meat. He seems satisfied. Yes, this is one of the beasts. Progress at last. More to go, though. So yeah, the only things I can see that are potentially of a creepy nature, they all seem to be made up stories. People have made stories about it on like No Sleep and things like that as well. So they can be fun to read, but none of it's by any means sort of factual. As far as I can tell, there doesn't seem to be any strong lore or something that's sort of connected to it. Alright, we're getting the hell out of here. I need to repair my boat, and maybe I can sell some of this fish. It's not going to be fresh, but sell that. Sell this. I don't need that anymore. Actually, what's in my storage? Can we jump into my storage for a second? We've got another line, because what's this one? So that is coastal and shallow. I don't need that anymore. Sell that one off. Yeah, let's install that. Puts us about where we were before, but now we are covering pretty much everything at this point. I do just want to upgrade this, because that is then going to give me oceanic, which is the only thing I'm missing right now. So I'm very excited about that. So the next thing on our tier list, just as we continue to make our way through here, we have got the green flash, which if any of you have seen Pirates of the Caribbean or read some novels, it is something that has been... I can't see shit. It is something that has been popularized and kind of made to sound or made out to be way more like mystical than it maybe is, although there is some interesting sort of notes about how it's observed, because I honestly thought, so before I kind of looked into this tier list, my main interaction with the green flash was obviously Pirates of the Caribbean, where, you know, they're trying to get out of Davy Jones' locker, and you know, the green flash is someone returning to the land of the living from the land of the dead, right? Like that's sort of the idea behind it. That's the mythology. However, it is actually something that happens and people have observed it. If you Google it, you can actually see photos of it as well. There are scientific explanations for it, but there is a lot of mystery that involved around it, like about the way that it's the right set of circumstances will cause this optical green flash to sort of occur, and sometimes it happens right at the point where the sun's coming up, which is so fascinating. And so I just think that's very cool, that there is something that you can see, and it's rare. It is super rare. So like the elements that you might see in pop culture of it being like, oh, you know, like, oh, people have told tales. Some people think it's a myth. Very real, because it's very unlikely that anyone's actually seen it. You know, just reverse back. Watch it get blown up, because this is always interesting, and that's about all there is on the green flash. I think it's very, very cool. Just that, again, just something weird and almost unexplainable that you can observe if you're lucky enough. All right, we're gonna go get this. I have a creature corpse to show you. Let's see it then. You drop the flesh onto the ground and he gives it a few slashes with the knife. It wobbles a little. Another one taken care of. One remains by my count. Let's finish this. I haven't been in here at night yet, so we're a little concerned. So I don't know what this is like. Yeah, there we go. We found them. Beautiful. I just want one and I'm out of here. Oh my god, I can't fish for the life of me. There we go. Catfish. Yeah, I was right. Beautiful. All right. Well, we're nearly done. That's very nice. Now, continuing on our little tier list, because we are just going to go back and make our bait. Over here, we have got the Loch Ness Monster. I don't think this one needs any introduction. We've all heard of the Loch Ness Monster. I'm not entirely sure why it's down on tier 2, to be honest. I feel like this should be tier 1. Everyone's heard of this at least once. Loch Ness Monster, or Nessie, as those fond of the Loch Ness Monster will say you should refer to her, is, of course, a giant serpent-like being that has been seen in, well, Loch Ness. I think it's in Scotland. I want to say Scotland. There we go. And load into the trap. Beautiful. So there's a lot of mythology around it. There's a lot of duplicates of the Loch Ness Monster. Some consider it almost like a Leviathan-class creature, so something like a giant serpent that existed in tales before, and maybe, you know, Nessie was one of those. But also, other theories exist to suggest that it might be some form of dinosaur that managed to survive and kind of lived past the extinction event that befell the dinosaurs. So there's a lot of different theories around it, but as I'm sure we all know, very, very well known in sort of cryptid communities, very, very famous sort of sea beast. All right, back it up. This never gets old, because it's nice to actually have a way of taking out these weird creatures. I absolutely love it. So I don't think we have to worry about these things anymore. Beautiful. Screw you, dude! Beautiful. All right. Like magic. All right, how are things going? I have the creature corpse. Let's see it then. You drop the large bloodied carcass in front of the airman. His eyes fill with sadistic delight. He bends down and plunges his knife into the soft flesh. It falls away before the blade, revealing a glint of metal. With a sickening tear, he wrests it from where it was embedded in the flesh of the creature. He holds it aloft. You recognize it as a necklace glistening in the gore. Well, fisherman, some fortune at last. This ought to fetch a decent price from the right collector. Here, why don't you take it? Ah, this is what that receipt was talking about. This thing. Why are these objects so important? He stands back from the corpse. A melancholic look comes over his face. And now, well, that's that, I suppose. What will you do now? I can't say for sure. I thought I'd be asking you for an escort away from this place, but this has become somewhat of a home to me. It doesn't feel right to leave my brothers here. I think I shall stay a while longer. In the meantime, I can make up some special bait for you. It ought to help with your fishing. Make some bait for me? Here. This was left over from the other bait we made. So what does this do? Can be used to attract all manner of nearby species. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I like that. So we can kind of chum the waters a bit. Okay. So that's going to help this dude out, and we've now got that. We're not going to head straight back to the collector, though. I do have a little bit more time, and I do want to get to the end of tier 2 at least. I don't want to leave us halfway through a tier while we're going. Because some of the things, I do want to explore this place a little bit, but I do also want to kind of move towards upgrading... What is that meant to tell me? Ah, that's telling me to go... That directs me to where the dude is. So I don't think we have to worry about these mind flayers anymore, which is real nice, because they were... That one run-in we had with them was truly not great for me. We nearly got wrecked. I got stuck. I don't want to do that again. So, where are we at? We're at 1 o'clock. We're going to have a bit of a sleep. And then we're going to have a little bit of an investigation around here, especially now that I have nothing I really care about on my boat. I don't really care what happens, so we can kind of be a little thorough in going around and having a bit of a look. If we can find more dog tags as well, that would also be brilliant. So let's head from this direction. I feel like we're kind of free to just explore now without those mind flayers being in there anymore. So, the next thing we've got on our tier list, just as we're making our way through, there looks like there's something over here. The next thing on our tier list is the Milky Sea phenomenon. I think this is actually the dock. No, we have been up this way. Okay. Well, we'll head on the inside and keep going. The Milky Sea phenomenon, which is so cool. And honestly, I wish I was talking about this in the last episode where we were in the Stellar Basin, because we got to see some bioluminescence there. But that is exactly what it is dealing with. It is dealing with bioluminescence. And it's technically trillions and trillions. And I'm going to put a picture up because I want you to see how beautiful this is. Because sometimes the sea, despite all its terror, has so much natural beauty. And this is absolutely an example of that. And so it's got it looks like there's like this light, this ocean of light that's sitting underneath the surface of... Excuse me? I shouldn't be hearing nothing. Pull up over here and sleep. Hopefully nothing attacks me while I'm here. Oh yeah, it's a crocodile. That's fine. Do the crocodiles actually attack? I shouldn't find out. I'm going to. What up, bitch? What you got? Okay, it didn't do anything. So it's millions and trillions of little bacteria that have a bioluminescence, so they glow, and it looks like I said, look at the picture. It just looks like a sea, like there's a river of light underneath the ocean. Oh yeah. Underneath the ocean, which again, like I said, there's so much natural beauty there. But I can you imagine seeing that 200 years ago? And this is what I mean, where I'm so curious about the idea that, like, maybe there's things that we know now that actually match up with legends and things of that nature. Can you imagine seeing that, like, 300 years ago, having no idea really about bacteria? That would have been an absolute nightmare. The wreckage of an old fighter plane lies buried beneath this deep in the sand. You pull in closer. Let's look inside. Oh, look, we got things. I think we can actually make this work. Okay. Oh, we got dog tags. Beautiful. We can go visit our friend and give him that. But yeah, this was one of the cooler ones. So a little bit of a mystery, but we kind of understand it now. Also, I just noticed, by the way, that that on the sides of the ship, right, it actually changes the equipment you've got when you change your rods, which I think is super cool. The next one we've got is the Bloop, which I'm pretty sure most of us would have heard of as well, but it is a little bit deeper. I do like that it's on tier 2 because it's pretty common, but at the same time, not everyone really knows about it. So I think it's a good addition to this tier. So the Bloop was essentially a very strange noise that was heard. Yeah, let's purchase that upgrade. Excellent. Now the Bloop, forgive me, I do look into these a little bit, but oh, fuck you, dude. Yeah, whatever. Fuck you so much. Hi there. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I don't want to talk about it. So the Bloop was a mysterious noise that was heard and recorded. And I believe it was essentially recorded between 3 different outposts at the time. I forget exactly where that happened, but if you look up the bloop, you'll be able to probably listen to it and then also get an idea of what happened and sort of where it occurred. But basically, it was this loud, oh, for fuck's sake, man. The grinning gar. Muscular gums grow and force cracked teeth against each other. Softer flesh tears from the strain. Isn't that neat? Anywho, so it was just this really loud noise that came from the ocean floor. At least that's where it seemed to be. Now, there have been different ways to sort of debunk that it was anything too strange or weird. So there was a theory that it was, I think, what's the term for them? I think glaciers kind of like grinding against each other. And it seemed that the pattern sort of matched. But there's equally as many people that are like, ain't no way that was glaciers based on what I heard. And it was just absolutely mental. And I love that because, again, going back to when I say I love that, I hate it because, again, it just reinforces my fear of deep places. However, it also lends credibility to the idea and just the idea of keeping the magic alive about the world that, yeah, there's big creatures down into the depths. And we really don't want to find out about them. But that's really all you need to know about the bloop. It was a very weird noise, and half the community or half the people sort of think it was just glaciers grinding against each other, and, you know, that was all it was. And then the other half are like, absolutely not. That was some weird creature that was big enough to be heard from 3 separate, like, recording stations. Which is, yeah, terrifying. Let me research my engine. I don't think we're going to get it this time. Because I think we are going to head back because I don't have much left in this tier, and most of them are things you know. So tier 2 is a kind of a combination of things, but I think I know what they're getting at when it comes to one of them. So let me just... You know what? We're going to manifest. Boom. And just like that, we're back. You enter the house carrying the ornate necklace. The collector recognizes it almost immediately. An excellent find. It demands pride of place in my collection. He sweeps aside some scraps on a dusty table, candle wax pooling in its corners. He places the necklace carefully in the clearing. And I suppose you'll be demanding recompense as well. Once more, he opens the book, dust pouring from the pages as he reads aloud. You carry this book everywhere. How's it dusty, dude? You begin to feel weak, but you're rooted to the spot, knees on the verge of buckling. Ability unlocked, a trophy. Instantly harvest an entire shoal of fish. Oh, that's cool. As he finishes speaking, you feel blood rushing back to your legs. A strange feeling of power grows in your chest. We're so close. One more remains. I loathe to suggest it, but the abyssal plane on the approach to Devil's Spine is a likely candidate. See what you can find. I'll mark a location on your map where you can begin your search. Let's find out about atrophy. I read a trophy. It's atrophy. The phrase instantly culls the closest shoal of fish, readying them for swift reaping. It can be heard from a great distance, so you need not be close to your victims. But the population is unlikely to recover from such vile trauma. Use it sparingly. How do you know where these relics are? I largely don't, but I read the seas. I see the swells that give shape to the formless. I hear the waves that whisper secrets to their witnesses. And I speak to the currents that hold a memory of all that they claim. Anything else that... Again, you're not answering anything. Are you human? Your inquiry is met with a piercing gaze. Why, of course, as human as you are. So the next thing on our list is the Titanic. So this is second last in tier 2. And obviously we know the Titanic, big ship, first voyage, its maiden voyage, it crashed into an iceberg, sunk into the depths, and yeah, horrible tragedy without fail and without question. Where things get really weird is there is actually a conspiracy theory that the Titanic never sank. I forget the name of the other vessel, but there was another vessel owned by the same person, the same company, whatever. And essentially, what it is believed actually happened is that that vessel was close to basically the repairs were going to cost so much money, and everything else that what happened is they swapped the ships. So they painted this older vessel to be the Titanic, and they rebranded the Titanic to be that older vessel. So they completely changed the name, the coloring, and everything else. A lot of people mentioned that they saw like the old name like kind of scratched out on the back of the Titanic when it was sitting there. And yeah, that essentially the whole thing was insurance fraud. That the ship was sunk so that they could collect the insurance money and they didn't have to spend the money repairing the other ship. That is sort of, that's where the Titanic's very interesting. You can kind of look into it. There's a lot of evidence. Nothing's conclusive, of course. You kind of have to draw your own conclusions based on what you think. The last one is tsunami. I don't know if this is referring to a particular tsunami or multiple tsunamis or the concept of tsunamis as a whole. But, I mean, look, it's so generic. I mean, if any of you happen to know what that could possibly be referring to, please do let me know if you think it's like, oh no, it's definitely referring to this very specific one. I have no idea. I couldn't find anything. I tried multiple different search terms. I couldn't find a damn thing. And that is the end of Tier 2, and that is also the end of the video. I hope you've all had an awesome time. Nothing too crazy going on this episode, other than just how weird that place was. And I think it was just a perfect, it's always fun with all the scares and the jumps, the giant creatures and the crazy stuff that goes on. But sometimes I think what this game does so well is its atmosphere, and in that fog-filled area that really amps up that atmosphere, and that although all we really had to deal with was those mind players is what I'm calling them at this point. All we had to deal with was those, it was enough. And a lot of sort of the atmosphere and the terror or the scariness that I was feeling just came purely from the atmosphere, not necessarily what was going on, from the noises and everything else. And this game is a gem. And I know there's DLC for this game as well, which I'm probably going to end up doing. I think it's called the Pale Reach or something like that. So I'm probably going to do that as well, because I don't know if the end of this is when we get that last piece. It feels like that might be the case. But otherwise, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Comment everything below, either your own scary sea stories or your own thoughts on the tier list. Specifically with what we've already talked about, and especially if you think there's more information that's worth knowing, I would love to hear it. And of course, subscribe if you're new and you had a good time. But that is going to be all for today, so bye for now.